the FIFA Club World Cup, the second semi-final game played yesterday between Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid. Now, before we come to the tactical board to look at exactly where Madrid got it wrong and the strength of this PSG team and how Chelsea can maneuver their way out of nullifying them and then winning the ultimate. Ellie, let me come to you. 4-0 in favor of Paris Saint-Germain. Was it a score you expected yesterday?
No, I didn't expect 4-0. At least I was expecting Madrid to at least get a goal in that game. But it was obvious from what we saw play that Madrid faltered in so many areas. First of all, their centre-backs are not up to that standard anymore.
Okay.
Rudiger is dwindling in terms of his performances.
Okay.
And Asensio is nowhere near there when it comes to top defending at a club like Real Madrid. To me, he does not deserve to be in the centre back of Real Madrid right now. They have to find a way of either loaning him off or selling. He does not qualify to be in that centre back. He's not composed as a defender.
Okay.
He thinks irrationally. He acts in a very haphazard way. And if you're not composed and calm as a defender, you make so many mistakes. And it was evident yesterday what he did to hand over that first goal that they considered. Rudiger also doing the same thing, and they considered 2 goals. And after conceding 2 goals against a team that is high pressing and suppressing you into your own half, you can't come out of it. If your defenders are not calm and composed, you can't come out of it. They should be thankful to Courtois, who was very excellent and denied PSG from scoring as many goals. So in the first instance, Real Madrid were at fault for not getting the right players in the right positions in this game. And you don't blame them. There was a red card, so they had to find a way of putting Asensio there, but that was it. But let me now come to the attacking line. Mbappe was there. Gonzalo Garcia had a good tournament. But when you come up against a team that has been structured in a way that there's not enough space between the midfield and the defense, you can't operate. You were trying to rely on long balls. That also failed. So let's give credit to Enrique.
So the midfield we're talking about.
Yes. Now, these 3 guys, there's nobody who is a standing number 6. So you not say, okay, well, because they are 4 back, it will be exposed, so now we can push Mbappe or Gonzalo to be running between them. No. They are mobile. The 3 of them are mobile. So at any point in time, you can see Vitinha in number 8 position. Fabian Ruiz comes cover for him. João Neves comes cover. So they are playing a mobile midfield. So there's nobody stationed.
So it makes it difficult for you to mark.
Exactly. So when you are attacking, one player can just come from through, intercept the ball, another player takes the ball from you, and they're gone. The defenders close up. Before you even approach the defense, Marquinhos and his partner, Beraldo, have already pressed you. So you don't even have the chance to run at them. You have been closed up, and by the time they close you up, Vitinha and João Neves have caught up with you. You've lost possession. And that's how difficult is it to play in the middle for PSG.
Once you are the one in the driving seat, let me ask you this. Looking at the lineup of Mr. Xabi Alonso, goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois, Federico Valverde number 2, Antonio Rudiger, Raul Asensio, Fran Garcia, Vinicius Junior, Jude Bellingham, Aurelien Tchouameni, Ada Goulet, Gonzalo Garcia, then Kylian Mbappe. 4-4-2 system of. We know Madrid has been operating with a 4-4-3 system for quite some years now. Now let me ask you, with this formation from Xabi Alonso and the personnel he deployed yesterday, which area was the weakest area on the field for Madrid?
Centre backs.
The centre backs. Federico Valverde, Antonio Rudiger, Raul Asensio, and Fran Garcia. Why? So
Alonso wouldn't have gone for this formation on a regular. If you watch him this tournament, he played the 3-5-2 formation. 3-5-2 in the sense that he wants to use the fullbacks to join attack. So Fran Garcia will play a full-back position. So he will play on the wings as a wing back. And then on the right wing back, we'll have Alexander-Arnold playing on the right wing back. So he was using wing backs. So then it will come now to the defenders who will stick to the holding anchor of the team. So Rudiger will be there alongside the Spanish guy who was from Bournemouth. Yes. So
Dean Hodgson.
Exactly. So once you have that to protecting the back four and you have as many men in the midfield, it helps you to hold possession. But in this case, you don't have Trent to rely on the right wing back. You don't have person also in the centre back to be guaranteed that he can relax and pass the ball from defense.
But he's very comfortable when it comes to playing the ball.
Exactly. He's a ball playing centre back. So when he is there, he's calm and can be passing the ball from behind. For you don't have him there. So now he decides to go for a safe position formation. And in football, the safest formation to play is 4-4-2 because then you have the complement at all ends, 4-4, and then the 2. But in this case, these guys are not used to this 4-4-2 formation. Adegula is not a winger. Vinicius has made himself more of an attacking brass than to be joining defense to protect Garcia. So you don't have Vinicius coming to support Frank Garcia. So once you have the right back for Hakimi, Desiree Doué, putting pressure on Frank Garcia, and Vinicius is not there to support him, it's overload. So Madrid is at fault there. On the other side, Kvaratskhelia also having Nuno Mendes. If you watch the game yesterday, Nuno Mendes was playing in midfield for PSG. So if you have these two guys also on the right side on Valverde alone, Adegula is not also a good defender. So then there's pressure overload on that side as well. Then you come to the center. Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, João Neves are all joining Dembele in pressing your center backs. And Bellingham is not having enough with Chouamani to protect these center backs. So there's overload across all your defense area. How do you operate? Now, even if you get the ball and you want to send long balls to Mbappe and Gonzalo to run at, you are pressed already by the two center backs from PSG. So they were depressed and they were locked up. Real Madrid was locked up from operating with this formation, and that was the brilliant.
Let me quickly bring in Mohamed Shaibu. You are somebody who fancy beautiful football because I'm a stand supporter of Arsenal. Even if you don't win trophies, ball possession is something you can always be happy about. So let me bring you in the conversation of this PSG side. They've been playing very, 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 very well, and it seems like the coaches in Europe are still not finding antidote to the style of Mr. Luis and this PSG team that has made a team too exceptional for the other coaches to catch up.
It's very difficult to beat an angry man. So, and that is what I can say about this PSG team. They're an angry team. They look like a team that wants to win almost everything. And for me, I think the biggest strength of this PSG team is defending.
Defending?
Yes. No, not necessarily their defense.
When they are
defending in terms of even pressing. And then secondly, the one thing that makes them very, very good is the way they are able to retain the ball. They have 3 players in midfield who are controllers. These are guys that can hold on to the ball as long as you wish. You look at them in the first half against Real Madrid. They had more than 70% of the ball possession. And even till then, even throughout the entire 90 minutes, where at some point in time, the 3 players that started for them as the front, the 3 players that started for them in the front line, the name of Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and Desiree Doué were out of the game. And yet still they were still able to control the game. Fabian Ruiz was also out of the game, but yet still they were able to control the game. That tells you how good this team is when it comes to ball retention. So for me, I think the strength of this PSG team lies on the way they are able to defend and the way they are able to retain the ball. You look at them yesterday, what they've been doing all season, the way Dembele presses up front, they force the opponent into making mistakes. And it's not surprising that 4 of the goals that they scored yesterday, 2 of the goals, the opening 2 goals, came from individual errors from the Real Madrid team because the PSG team, they press very, very hard. And when they do so, they force the opponent into making mistakes. And then they were able to make good use of the turnovers when they had them. So the strength of this PSG team is on the way they defend and how they are able to retain the ball.
But Ellie, one question one will ask is that what's the difference between the PSG team that had Messi, Neymar, then Mbappe up front, then the PSG team that is having Ousmane Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, that Desiree Doué. I mean, Kvaratskhelia was part of the Napoli team that won the. The spotlight was always on Victor Osimhen. Now here he is combining with 3 attackers of PSG. It seems like even when one is not around, the team is still as good as they are always playing.
Now, this is why Enrique did not have a problem losing Mbappe. He was ready to let Mbappe go because Mbappe is not the one who will be running to press defenders. And in this team that you can see on the board, none of them sees themselves as the superstar. They are all playing for each other. We are all on an equal level. So we work for each other. We play for, and that is the hallmark of every good team. Once the team is willing to play for each other, it's a plus. So this team, Desire Doué will press and not wait for anybody to tell him to go and press. And if you watch yesterday's game, Dembele, once the ball leaves the foot of Courtois to the defender, Dembele is already there, pouncing on them to press them. And that is the engine. Once the front line are pressing, it makes it easy for the midfield to cover up. And once they press on you, you get frustrated, you miss the ball, they get the ball, midfield takes control, and then they release it. And that is the engine for them, the high pressing. And these players have the energy to run at you. When they are defending, they run. When they are attacking, they run. The energy is very high. The young players who do not care about running out their heart to press you down. Unlike the Messi, who obviously will not, he will say, oh, go and press. Give me the ball, I'll do the magic. Neymar, he will not waste his energy running up and down to go and press anybody. Give him the ball, he'll use his skills. So that was the difference. These guys were established. They didn't want to exert too much energy, but these guys are young and they are willing to play for the coach and say, well, I'll run at each defender, I'll press very high. And from midfield, from defense to attack, all of them are using the same approach, and it's helping them. Okay,
Baba, let me bring you in this conversation. And with this time, I want you to analyze the PSG team from a Chelsea's perspective. Now, from the Against Supporters Union's point of view, they are now claiming that Chelsea is really sitting on a timing bomb. Is that the situation?
I don't think so, because when you look at the two coaches, I think they have something in common. Because when you listen to Enzo Maresca, he was saying that he will not have a player.
Which coaches are?
I'm talking about the tactics.
Having something in common.
I'm talking about tactics. If you listen to what the two coaches said, Enzo Maresca said he will not wish to have a player.
So Enzo Maresca has something in common with Luis Enrique.
He said he does not want to have a striker who will guarantee him 40 goals.
Oh, okay.
He wished to have a strikers. When it comes to
attackers,
scoring opportunity.
The goal scoring should be shared responsibility.
Same apply to what Luis Enrique said. And when you look at how they construct play, it's more like similar. They mostly like to use their fullbacks to join their attack.
That wing play.
Yeah, that wing play. So when you look at this tournament, Marco Corella most of the time play as a winger, sometimes, and then allowing Pedro Neto to join the players or the striker in the 18
So let me prompt. Whilst you are analyzing how Chelsea can nullify this PSG team, because it seems like PSG is now the problem of the day in the world, and everybody is finding it difficult to solve the question of the day. So you continue. We'll have the lineup here, and then properly assess the Chelsea team that can win ultimate against PSG. Because I am of that conviction that Chelsea is winning the final. But as to how they were able to beat PSG, it's another question. So this is the Chelsea team, right? This is the Chelsea team.
I'll tell you soon.
Okay, so this is the Chelsea team.
Yeah, this is the Chelsea.
So you believe that Chelsea have some similarities as compared to Paris Saint-Germain?
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell us where.
You see, this is the formation. When the game starts, it varies. So he likes to use Marco Corella, move up front to join the attacking players. So now Nkunku will go in the 18 and with Pedro to play as two strikers in the 18 box. Now the problem for PSG is their fullbacks. Akim like to operate, go higher in the pitch. Same apply to Nuno.
So when PSG or invented attacker.
Yes. And when you look at PSG play mostly, and I was asking myself, I want to see a team who can punish him in particular, Akim. Because he mostly like to go higher in the pitch. And then the other opponents don't have the luxury, don't have the capacity in terms of punishing him when he leaves the space behind him. And when you look at Marco Corella, he's someone when you go higher in the pitch, he can come back and again defend. When you look at against Fluminense, there was a moment where he cleared the ball on the line.
So you think the combination between Christopher Nkunku and then Marco Corella can be able to tame Achraf Hakimi?
Yes. And when you look at even the midfield party, they have Vitina, Joan Neves,
and Fabian Ruiz.
when you look at Chelsea, they have Moses Casado, Enzo Fernandez.
You focus on speaking into the microphone for people to hear you.
Now he can decide in this game to play Roma Latvia if Latvia is available in this game. Now he's going to play double pivot, Moses Casado and also Roma Latvia, so that he can contain the pressure that PSG will bring on board against Madrid. There was a lot of space.
But we've not seen enough of Romeo Lavia in this tournament.
No, he played against.
How guaranteed are you that the last game of the tournament, of which Chelsea have been able to build momentum between these midfielders, the coach will decide to slot in Romeo Lavia?
I think he played against Palmeiras Esperance. He played in the UEFA competition, the FIFA Club Cup. But just that he's not a player who can guarantee you most games going forward. So in this game, I'm having the belief that he's going to play Casado and Latvia in midfield so that they can contain the pressure that PSG will bring over. Against Madrid, there was a lot of spaces in between the midfield of Madrid, and there was not one player who can control the midfield of Madrid when the game is getting tough. There was one player, but in that game he was played as a fullback, talking about Valverde. But when you look at the likes of Traveni, Jude Bellingham, and also the rest of the midfielders, they don't have a midfield and other Gulam. These are not players who can control the midfield, who can press. And looking at Chelsea, they have players who can press when you are talking about pressing.
Bring Ellie, let me bring you in this conversation, because you said that you have so many, let's say, examples to give when it comes to Chelsea mapping up or putting up a team that can map up the show of Paris Saint-Germain. Take us through.
So both teams are possessive playing teams. They like to hold on to the ball. And they all want to overload their midfield. So Chelsea will try and get a wing back to be an inverted midfielder or join the wings. And if you watch the game that Chelsea played against Esperance, where Palmer was played on the left wing and it was interchanging between Cucurella. So when he goes deep, Cucurella goes wide on the flanks. When Cucurella goes wide, Palmer joins in the midfield. If he wants to go by that approach, it means that there's going to be an overload in the midfield, and both teams will have to compete in the middle. Now, if he also wants to block the fullbacks of both teams, of PSG, so Hakimi, yes, because these two players always wants to join attack. Now, that is where the problem will be for PSG, because once you allow your fullbacks to play as wing backs and they join attack, any long ball that goes through to Pedro Neto, who has the speed to run at your defenders, will be problematic for PSG. And these will be the weaknesses for PSG, because once you're allowing your fullbacks to join midfield and you're loading your midfield and the long balls come behind, you have very pacey wingers of Chelsea who can run at your defense. And that will expose you in conceding goals. Thankfully, they have a very good goalkeeper who has been the best goalkeeper of the tournament so far. So they have solid men playing in their positions for them. Unlike Chelsea, who are very vulnerable in goalkeeping department. Vulnerable.
So Chelsea's weakness
is the goalkeeper. Yes. And once Dembele press high at him, he could be confused and give balls out to the PSG. So those are the weaknesses that Enrique will have to work on and say, well, Dembele, I want you to be at your animalistic best. Press very high. Once Sanchez is about to release the ball, press them. And once they're able to do that pressing very well, they could also hold Chelsea at the neck and say, let's for sure, because Chalobah, for instance, is also not the calm ball-playing defender. He's also rigid. And once the pressing comes on him and he's not able to control himself and be calm enough to release the ball quickly, he'll be pressed down, he could lose the ball. Thankfully, Lewis will be back in defense. What's his name again?
Levi
Colwill will be back in defense. He's a bit calm and he can...
And also a ball-playing center back.
So he could help. So whoever he's paired with, he could be able to control that. But Sanchez release the ball to me and let me start from my end. But once Maresca is able to sort the pairing of center backs very well, those who can play the ball from defense, he can solve that problem. And now find a way of countering the weakness of PSG, which I insist that Hakimi and Nuno Mendes will be their downfall if they want to keep joining the attack and the balls are sent behind them. It will be problematic.
It means that Chelsea from the midfield to attack, they have an equally good team as PSG.
Yes.
They can pose the same threat as the PSG's attackers.
Exactly.
But their problem is how he arranged the defense, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So because Enzo Fernandez is not a static number 8. He's roaming.
Okay.
Like a number 8. Enzo Fernandez will be roaming around. If Kopama drifts to the wide and allows, like my brother was saying, if they have a Latvia to join Caicedo in middle, that
double pivot,
that will prevent Neves and the Vitinha and that mobility running. They will intercept them. So they will not have that freedom of running around and be releasing the balls. They'll be stopped. Now, if you have Fernandes also joining attack, then you are allowing Chelsea to be on the counter. And that will help them to allow their fullbacks also to run at PSG. The mistake PSG will make is to allow Hakimi the free room and Mendes the free room to be joining attack, because once you do that, you're exposing your two center backs, and when you have the Chelsea pacey wingers running at you, it'll be dangerous. So I see this game to be a game that will have a lot of goals, because PSG will score goals, because I know that the Chelsea center backs will commit mistakes when they are high press, and when Chelsea also gets the chance to run at the fullbacks and they're able to take chances of their goals, because now João Pedro has shown that he's a good goal scorer. Once he gets a chance, he can shoot from long range or can even get. So there will be a lot of goals in this game, but the vulnerability more is with Chelsea's side, because Chelsea as with PSG. So PSG has the upper hand, but if Chelsea is able to do their work very well, they should have a good game.
Chelsea analysis. Hopefully tomorrow is Friday, so we'll do the fine-tuning and then mapping up the strategy, how Chelsea, because as for me, dear, honestly speaking, I am rooting for, Chelsea to beat PSG. And I know João Pedro will not disgrace me Sunday.
I know why.
What's the reason?
I know why.
What's the reason, please? What's the reason?
The Yamal agenda for Ballon d'Or, but he has to understand that conversation is closed. Dembele has already stamped the Ballon d'Or.
Okay.
So